You're listening to The Spooky Darlings, a podcast where three sisters get together and talk about spooky things. And today is another state along our Cryptid Crawl, where we go through the states in order, alphabetically, one by one, each of us selecting a cryptid or cryptid-adjacent topic. And then we tell you about it and each other. And it is fun. And we loved Minnesota. I mean, I sure did.
Oh, yeah.
Who wants to start? Minnesota.
Oh, I'm happy to go first. Are you ready?
Take it away, Emmy.
It's all you.
Okay. I'm sharing with you the Minnesota Iceman.
I'm so glad you're doing this one.
Okay, so as you know, in the late 60s and 70s, the 1960s and 1970s, America was experiencing something of a cryptozoology craze. Like everybody was interested in Bigfoot, wondering if it was real. Everybody wanted their own sighting. Bigfoot sightings were popping up all over. People were half scared, half enthralled with this concept. And during this time, one of the strangest and most infamous exhibits in American paranormal history emerged, and that was the Minnesota Iceman. So this was a half man, half ape, frozen solid inside a block of ice. Witnesses described it as terrifyingly lifelike. The man responsible for displaying the creature was Frank Hansen, and he was a carnival promoter and showman from Rolling Stone, Minnesota. Beginning in the late 1960s, Hansen would tour. He went to fairs, shopping centers, carnivals, roadside attractions throughout the Midwest with this frozen figure. He would charge admission to see what he called the missing link, or sometimes he referred to the creature as Sibirskaya, or Sibirskaya, which is relates to Siberia.
Maybe.
So the Sibirskaya creature, but the name that stuck the most was the Minnesota Iceman. So this figure appeared to be about 6 feet tall.
When he's taking it around, is it still frozen? Is he somehow keeping it frozen?
He's keeping it frozen, and there's a layer of ice around it, and it's inside a refrigerated, box almost with a clear lid. It looks kind of almost like a coffin or like a popsicle freezer.
Huh.
Okay.
And what year is this again?
The late 60s.
Okay.
So let's see.
60s.
Yeah, it was the late 60s that he was starting this tour. So he had the frozen figure that was human-shaped. It was covered in thick, about 4-inch long, dark brown hair or fur. The facial features were distinctly ape-like. It had a flattened nose, a heavy brow ridge, a sloped forehead, and its oversized hands and feet had the hands had heel-like features that indicated possible quadrupedal use at times.
Right. Kind of like an ape would. Kind of like a gorilla would or an ape would. Yeah.
Exactly. The creature had kind of disturbing apparent injuries. One arm looked to be broken, and one of its eyes was blown out of its socket from the result of a visible gunshot wound from the back of the head.
Oh, no.
Of course. Someone shot this creature.
So this body was displayed frozen inside a cloudy block of ice in this glass-topped refrigerated container, which kind of distorted the details just enough to make it hard to examine very closely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
But it first was presented as proof that there was possibly an unknown species of primitive human that still existed, or that, I guess they weren't claiming to know when this thing died, but some believed that it was a Bigfoot. Other people thought it was a surviving Neanderthal, or the missing link between apes and modern humans.
Emily, please. Neanderthal.
Is that how we have to say it?
No, I just keep correcting you and Nettie anytime you guys say that word.
I appreciate the correction.
Is that how it's actually supposed to be pronounced?
I think some people do say it that way.
I want to say it correctly if I remember. So let me work on that.
Perfect.
I want to double check.
Don't double check it. This is a fun game I play.
Okay. I'll try not to.
It's my fun game.
Okay, Neanderthal.
Okay, so, the Minnesota Iceman was presented as proof that an unknown species of primitive humans still existed. And for a time, respected researchers publicly defended it as genuine. Even the Smithsonian Institute showed interest at one time.
Wow.
Rumors even circulated at the time that the FBI might investigate because of the apparent gunshot. So, as the story grew, though, so did the contradictions. Some people who saw it believed that they were actually looking at a genuine corpse. Frank Hansen, who was the man who was taking it around and displaying it, he claimed that the exhibit belonged to a mysterious anonymous owner, sometimes described as a wealthy California businessman or a movie mogul, even heavily rumored to be the actor Jimmy Stewart that was the actual owner. This is not confirmed. This was just rumored.
Okay.
But that it was, he said that it was loaned to him for display. And his stories about where the creature came from did not stay consistent. According to one version, it was discovered by Russian seal hunters floating in icy waters near Siberia. Hence the name, what did I say? Siberovska?
Something.
Sibirskaya.
Sibirskaya.
According to another version, Japanese whalers found it in the Bering Strait. Other stories claimed that it came from the jungle of Vietnam or Hong Kong, or that it was even just discovered in a freezer overseas.
Can I ask where the Bering Strait is? I don't remember. Where is that?
The Bering Strait?
Is that off of Finland?
I thought that was between... Am I confusing two things? I thought that was between Alaska and... I'm thinking of something
Russia?
else.
It might be. I mean, I genuinely... It's I feel like I should know, but I
knew at one point.
Me too. Let's cut this
I'm
out,
sorry.
because
I'm
Dad's
sorry
going to
I
be
asked
so
you.
disappointed.
No, let's keep it in, and let's disappoint our father. And let's also say, you mean, so he walked like an orangutan? The minute I said ape, I was like, why didn't I say orangutan? Would have had a chance.
Okay, I was right. The Bering Strait is between Alaska and Russia.
Oh, okay.
You were right.
Yes, you were.
Okay.
Dad, she was right.
She is a geologist.
A budding cryptogeologist.
I love this. It's a new term. We're going with it.
Okay, but then in later retellings, Frank Hansen claimed that he personally shot the creature during a hunting trip in Wisconsin or Minnesota after encountering several Bigfoot-like beings in the woods. So he was not consistent with this storytelling.
That'll get you.
Yeah, it will. It will get you. The Minnesota Iceman might have faded into obscurity if not for the involvement of two major figures in cryptozoology, and it's not who you think.
Not Lawrence Holman?
It's not.
And it's not the other one I was thinking of?
Ivan T. Sanderson, who was one of the founding figures of cryptozoology, and Dr. Bernard Heuvelmans, who is known as the father of cryptozoology.
Oh, that's a lot of responsibility being a father.
It is.
Those are two names we've got to get locked into our memory. Will you say them one more time, Emily, so I can write them down?
Yes. It was Ivan T. Sanderson, one of the founding figures in cryptozoology, and he is wearing, in the one picture I found of him, he is wearing like a safari suit, just like Haley was picturing.
My dreams.
As a cryptozoologist should wear.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Bernard Heuvelmans, who was a Belgian man and known as the father of cryptozoology.
Heuvelmans. Okay, I'm spelling it how I would imagine a Belgian would spell Heuvelmans. Please don't tell me how it's spelled.
With a V. Heuvelmans with a V.
Oh, it's not how I imagined.
That is not your desire.
Not when Larry Flugelman comes to dinner. Okay. So, in 1968, these two researchers heard about the Iceman, and they traveled to Frank Hansen's home to examine it. And for days, these men studied this figure through the ice. And although they could not perform like a direct physical examination, they came away convinced that what they were looking at was something extraordinary.
Why? Okay, my curiosity. Why not just defrost it and then put it in a temperature-controlled place and examine it without the ice around it? Why are we keeping it in ice?
I think you have a great point. So they... They could see
Thank you.
details like vegetable matter in the teeth, and they could even see little like bugs or parasites on the body
Whoa.
through the ice.
Gross.
At one point, they said that the glass on the refrigerated case broke, and they smelled that distinctive smell of death or like decay.
Uh-oh.
So Sanderson, who was a well-known Bigfoot researcher and writer, was fascinated with the possibility that this could be an unknown primate or Bigfoot. He later published sensational articles asking if it could have been the missing link. And Sanderson was not shy about kind of making sensational claims. And then Heuvelmans was also convinced that the creature was like an authentic specimen. And he published scientific papers. And I mean, these were in like reputable magazines. But he proposed that it was an entirely new species. He gave it the name Homo pongoides, which means like a human-like ape creature with Neanderthal characteristics. And Heuvelmans theorized that the creature may have been killed in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, linking it to stories that had been told, like kind of rumors that had been told of a large ape-like creature that was reportedly shot by U.S. soldiers in Da Nang in 1966.
And then fell into a vat of ice? Yeah, then harvested and brought
was
home?
probably put in a freezer by humans. I didn't see details on that. I wish I had seen those details.
Well, I do feel like our government keeps a lot of this stuff hush-hush. As we know by the recent I've been
relieving
release to know, like the UFO files, that there's so much that we have not been told.
Yes.
Which I think they charmingly put in the format of X-Files. Perhaps.
So this Minnesota Iceman became one of the most talked about cryptid discoveries in the world, and it got international attention. There were interviews on TV and then the articles that I mentioned earlier. Apparently, somebody, I think it was Sanderson, contacted John Napier, who was with the Smithsonian at the time. And once the news spread that the Smithsonian was interested, the whole story had even more legitimacy. And then the visible gunshot wound brought a different type of question to the mix, that maybe it was possibly, if we're classifying this thing as a type of human, is this homicide?
Right. Oh, yeah, it would be.
So rumors started to circulate that the FBI had been alerted and might investigate that possibility that Hansen was transporting a murder victim across state lines or across international lines because he had gone back and forth between the U.S. and Canada.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
And at one point, it's claimed that Canadian Customs detained Hansen while he was transporting the Iceman because they thought it might be like an actual corpse and potential health hazard. And Hansen claimed later that Senator Walter Mondale pulled some strings to resolve the issue.
He ran for president later.
What?
He ran for president or vice president, maybe.
Oh, did he?
I believe so. What, Mondale? I think so. In the 80s in the 80s.
So the exhibit was allowed to come back into the United States, and then no formal FBI investigation ever materialized that we know of or that we have access to records of. But these rumors just kind of added to the growing lore and kind of hysteria surrounding this exhibit. But as scrutiny intensified, Frank Hansen suddenly claimed that the original frozen body had been reclaimed by its mysterious owner because the original was too valuable and fragile to continue touring, and that they were able to replace it with a replica made of latex and real human hair.
Convenient. Yeah. That sounds really suspect to me.
It does. So this kind of leads to two different camps of people who followed the story. One group thinks it's all a hoax, that, Frank Hansen was a hoaxer the whole time. The swap was a convenient thing to avoid being caught. And the other was that there was actually a real biological specimen, and that maybe there's a little bit of a conspiracy element to this, but that it was actually the real decaying corpse in the ice was what Hüvelmann and Sanderson examined and believed to be real before it was swapped out.
They're the ones that said they got a whiff of decay.
Yes.
I don't think they'd lie about that. I'm in camp too.
I trust them.
I do too. I trust the father of cryptozoology.
Yeah. As we know, being a father is a lot of responsibility.
The father and one of the founding fathers. Yeah, you've got to trust those guys. So this was
patting me because it's a dumb joke, or patting you because it's a good joke, and you managed to make it twice, and I hope you'll find a third time.
I'm going to make it as many times as I can. I hope you will. If somebody said they were the mother of anything, being a mother is a lot of responsibility.
Yes, it is.
You're the mother of that joke, and I think you're taking that responsibility seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah. Every time Emily says that she collected data, I always have a hard time saying, but not mama.
Oh,
because it
Thank you for helping me know I need to switch to saying data.
And then I'll say, there, that will help. Okay.
It does.
Yes. Just moving on.
Anything.
So, Hüvelmans and Sanderson were kind of embarrassed by this whole thing. And this eventually led to a bit of a falling out between these two friends and colleagues. It was eventually accepted widely that the exhibit was just always a fake, had been fabricated, and that, you know, the ice, the dim lighting, the distorted viewing conditions, led to this situation where they were misled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the Minnesota Iceman was not the only bizarre attraction associated with Frank Hansen. Years before the Iceman exhibit, supposedly Hansen had tried to commission a fake crashed flying saucer complete with alien bodies from a Hollywood studio. So,
oh boy.
That tricky trickster.
And then decades later, Hansen continued to give contradicting statements about the whole thing. In a 1995 interview, he said that he never knew whether the creature was genuine or not. He's still leaving it ambiguous. He's the least reliable character in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But most researchers today think that it was really part of the ongoing mythology rather than a serious confession that he did or didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2013, the latex and hair version of the figure went up for sale on eBay. I have a picture of the listing.
I want to see it. I not only want to see a picture of the listing, but I also want to see a picture of the specimen.
It was listed for sale for $20,000. Let me send you a picture of this.
This seems steep for a fake.
Well, it was purchased
for $20,000.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it went for. It was eBay. You could make bids. So it was purchased. It was featured on an episode of the reality show Shipping Wars when the creature was being transported, apparently still frozen at this time. It says it was frozen, but in the eBay listing, it is not frozen. So I'm confused by that. But it was on Shipping Wars when it was being transported from Minnesota to the Museum of the Weird in Austin, Texas, where it is still on display today.
We are going there. When are we going to Austin? When are we? We'll go down. We'll see Emily. We'll drive to Austin.
I would love to go.
Or we'll all just meet in Austin.
So this says that the ice melted during transport and that viewers got to see it. But the eBay listing clearly shows the animal, at least, I don't know, maybe it was still frozen inside, but it didn't have the block of ice on the outside of it that was present before.
Wow.
So this is kind of a crazy story, a cautionary tale. I think that it was embarrassing to the newish field of cryptozoology to have these two scientists that were taken pretty seriously, even though they kind of entertained the unknown more than other scientists did, but they were still taken seriously at this time. So this was kind of an embarrassing moment for the new field of cryptozoology. So Hüvelmann died in 2001, but he, in 1974, not long after this whole thing, wrote a book in French called The Neanderthal something, that detailed...
so fancy. Very, very French indeed.
That detailed his entire investigation. It included, some pretty wild theories. And he was pretty angry in the book, apparently, according to the review that I read about it.
So he felt like it was a hoax by the end?
He felt like there was some cloak and dagger stuff, and I'm not sure that he thinks it was a hoax.
But he felt some sleight of hand had happened.
Yeah, he had a chapter called Cloak and Dagger, I think. And then he felt like there was like a wall of willful ignorance, I guess. Like, like maybe he wasn't able to be heard fully. So that book was written only in French and was obscure and hard to find until in 2016, Lauren Coleman. Yes. Lauren Coleman.
He's the daddy of cryptozoology.
I think you mean zaddy.
He's not the father.
Lauren Coleman works alongside another guy who translated it and published it in English. And Lauren Coleman wrote the afterword, where he said, the parasite seen on the body, this is a quote. So, quote, the parasite seen on the body, the vegetable matter viewed in the teeth, all point to the Minnesota Iceman having been an actual carcass. Maybe it was, end quote. That's where he leaves it.
And
I
think it was.
That's the story of the Minnesota Iceman, and I want to know what you guys think. I think there's a lot of evidence pointing to Frank Hansen being a hoaxster. But there was a whole thread on Reddit that I read about like a theory that's kind of suppressed, that the U.S. government got involved.
That's what I think.
Forcing Frank Hansen to get a replica to replace what they took, and that maybe the other stories about him trying to get the alien replica was like planted stories to discredit.
That makes so much sense to me.
Government's done it before.
Yeah, discredit people, make them seem like fools to cover
up. The main
up
thing that really sticks out to me, and listen, a fridge or freezer can stink for a lot of reasons, and maybe there was some other smell. Who knows? But like that part where they saw vegetable matter in the teeth, and then B, smelled that smell of decay. It does make me feel like there was more to what. I mean, I don't think we can just be like, oh, he had a rubber dummy and latex and whoops, like I think there's more to it.
He's older than floss.
And like the bugs in the fur, right?
Yeah, like little parasites.
That's a crazy detail.
That is some pretty elaborate detail.
I'm so fascinated.
Yeah, so that's all I have on the Minnesota Iceman, and I counted it as a cryptid because I think, well, I'm not going to sit here and claim
it was
that
on the list of, when you Googled Minnesota cryptids, it was like number 2.
Yes, and I'm not going to claim that I think for 100% certain that it was a real cryptid, but I do think that there is enough that makes me wonder that I can't say for certain that it didn't exist. You know?
I'm still, I think that the Vietnam theory makes sense. Like something, especially the bullet. It would be nice if we had the original specimen and we could see if there is an actual bullet and we could trace the bullet using forensics.
Apparently, too, in Huvelman's book, he went off on a little bit of a tangent about thinking that possibly the specimen was brought over as part of the drug trade between Asia and the United States. And it's easy to kind of read some of that and think maybe he was going off the rails a little bit. And it's possible that he was, and it's possible that there was something more to it that we're just like not able to access information on.
Hey, sometimes when you get close to the truth, it can drive you to the brink and over.
And that is what it's like to be a mother.
Yes. And that is what it is like to be the daddy of cryptozoology, as his name's not Carl.
As was
Lauren Coleman.
As Lauren Coleman would know. Lauren's the daddy.
Bernard Huvelman.
Bernard is the father.
Was the father. Yes. Lauren Coleman is the most famous cryptozoologist.
Yeah.
And
he's the fatty, combining daddy and famous.
He's going to love this.
The other day, Nettie and I were on the phone and...
Without me?
No. Oh, yeah. We were chatting. No, not without you. We were chatting. I texted you both.
Yeah, she texted us both.
It was not on the phone. I texted you both that I had never known that the musical Chess was written by the two dudes from ABBA. So I had never known that.
Neither did I. And it was with my family. It was with my family when I got that news. And I shared it with all of them.
I can share a screenshot of this text on
our socials.
On our socials, but sorry, here, let me get to it. I was like, I never knew that Chess the musical is written by the two dudes from ABBA, and Nettie responded, Haley didn't. OMG, I never knew that. And I said, and Tim Rice, because Tim Rice, I think, worked on the vocals. And I don't know if you don't know who Tim Rice is, he was involved with like Phantom of the Opera and a bunch of Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals. So Nettie said, OMG, I never knew that. And I said, and Tim Rice. And Nettie goes, oh yeah, Tim Rice is always trying to get his fingers in every pot. And I said, one might say he's the Lauren Coleman of musicals. And Nettie was like, true. Dang, why aren't we having this conversation while we're recording? But
that's
never
true.
Fear. I will just read it on the recording and I will share it on our socials. And the funniest part about that is that it's such an obscure, weird reference that we're making that nobody's going to know who Tim Rice or Lauren Coleman are, but I think we're so funny.
I bet you more people will know who Tim Rice is than Lauren Coleman.
Oh, you're probably right.
Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Or do I just know who Tim Rice is because I'm into musicals?
I don't know.
I did react, but you guys had that conversation and I got to it way later.
Wait, was that the busy day?
Because I was at work.
Was that the busy day that you thought was a Thursday? Hey, by the way, just FYI, if you're wondering why our Michigan Cryptids episode was late 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
It's because Haley got her days of the week confused and thought that
and we have a graduate and there was just like a lot going on.
She was very busy and
Nettie, thank you for picking up the slack.
You're welcome.
And also that conversation happened on my very busy Saturday, the graduation day of our graduate. So that's why I wasn't involved.
Because we got the message. I was with my whole family. The reason why I was with my whole family is because we were driving out to graduation.
Yes.
Which can I say? Haley's stepson graduated from the cutest little school in Eastern Oregon.
19 people in his graduating class.
19 graduating
that is so
class.
Cute.
They each arrived in like a ride, like this fancy, like some of them in really old, like Norman Rockwell trucks, some of them in sports cars. Haley's stepson arrived in like a
Mercedes, like sports car that is from his grandfather allowed him to borrow.
I totally thought it was a Porsche. So that's how good I am at sports cars.
So you're terrible at it.
It's either a Mercedes or a Porsche.
Yep.
But what was funny is I said to Zane, he's the other son. He's the one that's like
our second. Yeah,
he's a seventh grader, seventh, eighth grader. I was like, hey, when you graduate, I think you need to okay, Haley's husband owns the garbage company in LeGrand, so their dad owns the garbage company. I was like, I think you need to get delivered in a garbage truck, but you need to be lowered down in a trash can, like with the thing.
Oh, and pop up like
and Zane
Oscar
was
the
like,
Grouch.
That's such a good idea. But Jason was like, I don't think
so dangerous.
I don't think they're going to let me bring that on the field. I'm like, don't ask permission.
You'd ask for forgiveness later.
That's so
but
funny.
This is the funny thing.
I cannot wait to see if Zane wants to do that.
There was at least a 45-minute, perhaps longer, a medical emergency that interrupted the very middle of graduation, like halfway through. It's still the shortest high school graduation ceremony I've ever been to.
Because it's from a class of 19.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. But his class was very close and like he has really great friends and
it was so sweet.
And he's just wonderful. So,
yeah. And so, anyways, I know you were busy.
Yes.
It was no problem for me to get that whipped up and edited. And plus,
when Emily texted that morning, she's like, hey, it hasn't been posted. And I was like so annoyed. I was like, it's like Thursday. And then I look at my phone and I was like, it's Friday.
Well, and then also, and in your defense, you then tried to real quick do it. And you couldn't find the files.
We had technical difficulties.
So it was easy for me to just get started on it that night.
You're the best.
And then I just worked on it the next day. And I love editing our episodes because I feel like I'm hanging out with you guys.
Exactly.
And I know you know that feeling too. It's fun. I mean, unless you're real sleepy, then you're like, shut up. Everyone quit talking. I'm tired.
I gotta pour another cup of coffee. But which is why I try and not do it sleepy. But
Emily, thanks for sharing about the Minnesota Iceman. When that came up on the list, I was genuinely curious. So I was really glad you chose it because it was one of those where I was like, I kind of pick mine based on, well, I like to think like, because Emily does cryptid art each time, I'm like, what is the art going to look like? Which is why
I don't think of that at all, which is why Emily is furious with me this week.
Which is the perfect segue into Haley's cryptid. And Emily right now is really trying to hold her anger down. You can see it. Just kidding. She's smiling. She's
super
happy.
Easy to illustrate haunted lakes. And Emily,
Let's revisit the definition of cryptid in a moment. Just kidding.
So I keep these cryptid episodes pretty loose, as all three of us know, and the listeners probably know.
Yes, and
there was
I
a
just
little
want
bit
to
of a
point out,
last-minute scramble.
Haley did point out when I was like, thought that would be a good 3D episode. I had that on my 3D list, and Haley's like, "There's 10,000 lakes in Minnesota. Relax. This is not gonna."
So Minnesota's famous nickname, Land of 10,000 Lakes. And it's actually a massive understatement. The state boasts 11,842 lakes and over 14,000 lakes if you count every body of water that is over 10 acres.
Which is plenty big. And also, I guess if you want lake property, you got to go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Not McCall.
It's everywhere there. And you betcha some of them are haunted. So, Fountain Lake in Delano, Minnesota, the legend claims a woman drowned in the water and can still be heard screaming in the dead of night.
Does she try to grab your ankles if you swim?
Probably.
That's scary.
Spirit Lake, Menahaga, Minnesota. Probably said that wrong. Let me know. Locals and visitors have reported seeing the apparition of an Indian maid, quote unquote, their term, not mine, hovering or walking across the water on occasion. Lake Rebecca, frequently tied to urban legends, this lake has numerous local accounts of children's spirits being spotted lingering along the lake shore late in the evening. So, on my research of haunted lakes in Minnesota, I came across this article on thoughtcatalog.com. It is called, "There's a Haunted Lake in Minnesota, and my friend and I decided to swim in it. Nothing made sense." Which sounds great, right?
Wait, but what lake?
Great question. So this is an article by Rona Vassilar, and she starts off describing herself and her friend Liz. She is sickly. Liz is athletic. She has dark straight hair. Liz has bouncy blonde curls. Liz is fire. She is ice.
She described herself as sickly.
She did. Even though they're so different, they're as close as sisters. Most important, they both share a love for swimming, which, as we know, sickly people love to do.
Yes.
Quote from this article story, "Actually, we're both certified as lifeguards, although she's been a guard much longer than I have. Although I usually hate sports, I never get tired of swimming. The feeling of gliding effortlessly through the water, twisting and contorting my body as I speed through the blue depths is like bursting out of a cage, free, unbound."
So she feels sickly except for when she's in the water.
Mm-hmm. She and her friend Liz love to go swimming as much as they can. Luckily, they live in the land of 10,000 lakes.
14,000 if you count lakes larger than 10 acres.
Good memory. So they go to a lake in a nearby national park, where lots of people go camping and hang out, but no one goes swimming.
No. Why?
Local legend has it that the lake is haunted. If you go in, you won't come out. But this author and her friend Liz didn't care about such things. They're not like other girls who would be scared of stories like that.
No, they're not like other girls.
No. After a summer day of watching horror movies, and it was still hot out and the girls wanted to go swimming, Liz went first, noticing how strangely deep it gets right away. Quote, "Pretty soon we were both inside, twisting through the lake's depths like fish. If we stayed close to the shore, we could touch the bottom. It wasn't long before we were dredging up mud to pelt each other with. It was all great fun until Liz had one of her brilliant ideas.
Wait, is Liz the sickly one or the athletic one?
The athletic one.
Oh, those athletes and their ideas.
Why don't we swim across the lake? I've never been on that side. So they set off. Halfway through, Rona begins to feel a little scared, like they shouldn't have tried to swim across that lake. It was strangely deep. The girls decide to race each other, and to Rona's surprise, she beats Liz across the lake. Usually Liz beats her at all sports.
Are you sure this wasn't a pond? Like, okay, all right, carry on.
Let me carry on. She turns to display her triumph to her friend when she notices Liz is nowhere to be seen. Quote, I tried to calm myself down, but my panic was growing. No, she couldn't have. Could she? She's a lifeguard, damn it. And this stuff doesn't happen to lifeguards, right? Finally, the surface of the water broke, but it wasn't Liz.
Oh no, what was it?
It was a man with an athletic body and long black hair.
Oh.
Something was strange about his skin. It was pale white, like snow, like he'd never been out in the sun.
Sounds like a vampire.
Being worried about her friend, she approached the man, asking if he had seen her friend. Athletic, curly hair? She stopped trying to ask him questions when she realized he was laughing a cruel laugh.
Is he a mermaid? Ma'am?
Merman.
No, neither. He said to her with a cruel look, She's not coming back. Rona tried to get more information from him, but he took off before she said anything else. She swam back across the lake and called the police. And while she waited, she
swam back across the lake after seeing a merman?
Only thing that made sense. And the merman walked away.
Okay. But he did emerge from the water.
I'm going to tell you a little more.
Okay. I'm trying.
You both are allowed all of the outbursts you wish during this story.
Thank you.
Swam back across the lake, called the police, and while she waited, she did deep dive searches like she had been trained to do as a lifeguard. She wouldn't leave the water until the police dragged her, kicking and screaming. They've been searching the lake for weeks. No sign of Liz. Rona stopped eating and sleeping. And the police...
She was already sickly.
I know.
She was going to get more sickly.
She and Liz are opposites.
Fire, ice.
The police looked for the man with no luck. And Rona didn't know what to do until she remembered the legend about the haunted lake.
Oh, she forgot it until now?
Until now. Rona starts to research. She basically moves into the library. By chance, she stumbles upon the headline, 10-year-old boy presumed drowned returns home 4 months after disappearance.
What?
In 1936, the boy said he was trapped, and then Sarah saved him. But she was trapped now. 16-year-old Sarah, who babysat Robert, had gone missing on Saturday. In 1956, drowned, redacted, man comes home to wife and child 2 years after death. Wife was surprised to see her husband walking up to their home on the 2-year anniversary of his suspected drowning. When asked where he'd been, Mr. Lynn said, quote, some things just can't be explained. No one would understand anyway. The important thing is that I'm here now. Few more stories of the same thing, blah, blah, blah. She never paid attention to these stories, but she knew someone who did. Her mom.
Why did her mom care so much?
Her mom was surprised and worried at her sudden interest, and she spills the beans anyway. Has something to do with the mansion across town owned by a woman suspected of drowning and then returned 2 weeks later, and then her fiancé went missing.
Oh.
This woman's name is Esther.
Esther.
Rona visits Esther. Esther's cranky, but the only one who can help. Rona sees a photo of a man on her mantle, He looks strangely familiar.
Irma Gersh, was it the merman?
Blah, blah, blah. Rona tells Esther that she thinks her friend Liz is missing, and it has something to do with Esther's missing fiancé.
Oh.
Then Esther's looking all pained, and never in her life has she told anyone what she was about to tell Rona. There is something wrong with the lake.
And we still don't know the name of the lake? They never give
We never
it?
do.
It's any
There
lake.
are 14,000 lakes that we have to test now.
It could be, we are moving to Minnesota.
When you're taken in, you live at the bottom of the lake. And you know when someone else is swimming, and you take them and drown them, and they take your place.
Oh, so the guy was actually...
Esther is so sad it was her fiancé.
Oh.
Esther then kicks Rona out of her house, later kills herself. The police found a man in her house sobbing over her body. Rona writes Liz one last letter and then goes for a swim.
Wait, Liz? Her missing friend? Where'd you find this creepy story, Haley? It's
On
creepy.
thoughtcatalog.com.
Oh,
She already told us.
I'm sorry, but I needed to know again.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So after my first cryptid turned out to be from Montana, I was like, Minnesota, creepy, haunted, and this comes up.
I just noticed the word cryptid was not in her search.
Yeah, let me help you, Haley. If you search cryptid in the state, you will find
I was
cryptid
gonna
stories.
I was going to choose the Wendigo or the lake monster. I was like fearful that Nettie had chosen one of those. So I was like, I'm going to do something completely different.
That you knew I wouldn't. I can understand that. I should have posted what I chose. It's because I almost did the who.
I'm glad now you know this is all your fault.
I take full responsibility.
And so then I just wanted to choose something that I could start working on this morning.
Yeah.
Because my cryptid was not even from this state. So when we do Montana, I will have an actual cryptid to do.
Yeah. We got a ways to go because we've got.
And I'm going to keep you guessing.
Mississippi,
In the
Missouri.
meantime, no, Emily,
Fremont.
I'm going to keep the artwork in mind in the future.
She's like, "Are you flipping kidding me? I have to turn her into 10,000 lakes."
Like I first had to turn her into a triangle.
Now that I know about the muscly man with the long black hair, I've got it covered.
I love this.
always wanted to be a beautiful man emerging from water.
I've already taken a peek. I've taken a peek ahead at Mississippi cryptids. There's some mermaid, so I may be choosing that just because I really like it when I'm a cryptid mermaid in her.
You love your mermaids.
I do love our mermaids.
Is it top half?
I'm not committing to it, but
Is it a top half fish mermaid?
I hope so.
Yes.
Did you guys hear the weird theory that mermaids were okay, you know what? Cut all this, revisit later when I can do some research and say it all right.
Yeah, let's talk about the mermaids on your mermaid episode.
Yeah, that will be
time.
in 2 weeks.
And so there's my haunted Minnesota lake episode where I was thinking I'm going to read somebody's accounting of a crazy experience they had in a Minnesota lake. Come to find out, I'm being told a story that's a little bit wordy.
I thought it was spooky, just not believable, because I don't think someone who would describe themselves as sickly would ever swim across a lake.
She had a lot of contradictions about her friendship.
Our very fit mother couldn't make it to the buoy and back without help. Remember?
Mm-hmm. She kept on scaring all of us.
I do remember.
Swimming is a full athletic event. If you're a sickly person, you are not a swimmer.
No.
I am sorry. You have a hole in your story, dear writer.
Rona.
Dear Rona.
Yeah.
I don't believe
Actually,
that.
in the story, her name was Anna, but she didn't get to that right away until halfway through the story. I had already named her Rona after the writer of this story, so I kept with it.
So the writer is Rona.
I think
Well,
that's fair.
And also, swimming across, first of all, if you're looking at water, warning, this is advice to our listeners.
Even if the water is not haunted.
Yes, thank you for that caveat, Haley. If you are looking at any distance in water, it is further than you think. Swimming across a lake is no joke, and you should never do it without support. If you would like to swim across the lake, make sure you have someone on a paddleboard or someone in a canoe or kayak paddling next to you, as I did with our mother when she wanted to swim out to the buoy.
Several times,
And I was like, girl, that's my mom. That's what I call my mom. Girl. That's what I call our mother. Girl, I'll stay out of the water on the paddleboard for your safety. And I did. And she actually, she was having a little trouble. We got to look out for her this year because she's going to want to swim out to the buoy with us again.
She's going to be very stubborn.
Yeah.
In
we
the
can
cutest
cut that
way,
part out. I'm
Mom.
not sure she'd love it.
In the cutest way, Mom.
In the very cutest way. But I'm stubborn.
Like a
Jason
mule.
calls me stubborn all the time. Drives him a little bit nuts.
Brett has never
And I'm
called
like,
me
I get it from my
stubborn.
mom. Sorry.
But do you think he's a little bit stubborn in how much he thinks you're stubborn? Like he just won't budge on it?
Oh, I tell him that every day.
Oh, he's stubborn. Don't
I
tell him I
know.
said that. Also,
He doesn't listen to this podcast, so we can leave all of this.
Also, don't tell you I said you were stubborn.
We all know I am.
Haley, thank you for bringing lakes into the equation.
Yeah.
That was a very spooky story. I question Rona's validity. I think it was a fiction, Rona. But, let's...
Well, I feel like in her title, Nothing Made Sense really speaks to the story.
Yeah, nothing did make sense.
Because Rona, nothing made sense, girl.
Rona, it would be like me writing a story where I'm a gymnast. And I'm like, I loved to flip. And I just flipped in the air. And I flipped and landed gracefully. And gymnasts would listen to it and be like, she's clearly never done gymnastics.
Yeah.
Rona.
Yeah, her descriptions of swimming.
Be like, I'm a gymnast with sickly legs. With sickly legs made of rubber. I don't have bones in my legs. When I flip, I land like a weird rubbery puddle.
Like a ninja.
Rona tells that story like someone who's never actually done more than sit in a hot tub.
Yeah.
She's also never seen a naked, long-haired man emerge from the water with a wicked laugh. Until now.
And then walked away and then
The skin
swam.
is pale as snow.
Her friend disappeared, most likely drowned, and she, instead of like staying on land and calling 911, she swims back across the lake to call 911. Rona,
Her phone was on the other side.
Her phone was probably on the other side.
Run to a cabin, run to a road.
But then she had to go to the library to do research. I'm like, what time period are we in, Rona?
I'm
Ugh.
sorry, and move in?
Yeah.
Do they have
She's so
beds?
studious.
So many holes. But Haley, thanks for bringing us to the lakes. I'm going to tell you about probably the most...
I'm glad you stopped because I was about to do a whole diatribe about how the librarian was like, I'd love to go home, but that sickly lifeguard is here again, camping out.
Do you remember those commercials where it was like showing the lady? It was like, I think that they stopped showing them because people were complaining about it, where it was like some Cranberry. It was the Cranberry song, and they like made a different version of it, and they were showing how she was learning and working at the library, and the security guard comes over looking real tired to tell her that the library's been closed for an hour, ma'am, and she holds up her finger rudely, and he kind of looks defeated and walks away. And it was supposed to be like, see, she won't even let the library close because she's learning, but really people were like, lady, go home. That man has a job. I mean, he has a family he's trying to get home to.
That poor guy.
I never saw that. And it was for cranberries?
No, it was a Cranberry song. The one that's like, all my life. I can't sing it because of copyright. Changing every day, changing every single way, every possible way.
Yeah.
And then it was like an advertisement for like an online university or some kind of university. And it showed the hardworking lady
Would I have a 24-hour library and the guards get great sleep?
Well, they were trying to show that she was like taking her studies seriously, but instead they showed that she was being rude to the security guard.
Oh, it's not my version. Got it. Hey, lady, go home.
Go home. Let the security guard go home. You guys, this has nothing to do with cryptids.
You're right.
But you know what does? What am I hearing? Is it my end or your end?
Somebody's doing yard work outside.
Oh, here at my house? Ugh. Okay. Sorry for the yard work noises, listeners. It is a daytime and Memorial Day. All right. I'm going to take you back to the lakes because Haley just had us in the lakes. But we're actually at Lake Pepin, which is part of the... Hold on. Mississippi River. I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't the Missouri River.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're in the Mississippi River, but there's this place in the Mississippi River between the borders of Minnesota and Wisconsin, where the lake gets very wide and scenic and very slow. So it is actually defined as a lake, even though it's not separate from the Mississippi River. And it's Lake Pepin. And it's beautiful. It's scenic. People take their kayaks out. People like to go there and stare at the water. A lot of people go there to recreate. But many people, while enjoying the scenic view from the lake shore or while out on a paddleboard or in a kayak, have reported seeing a humped, dark figure moving just beneath the lake's surface. It has a long neck, a serpentine body. Some reports say a snake-like head. Some reports say a horse-like head.
I don't like either of those options.
What does it remind you of? What famous lake monster does this remind you of?
The horse ones from Scotland.
What
were they called?
Loch Ness Monster.
Oh.
Isn't that what it reminded you of, Haley?
Yes. Not the horse ones I talked about.
Well, the horse ones that you talked about were a little bit similar to the Loch Ness Monster because Loch Ness Monster is said to have like a seahorse head.
Okay.
And so, yes, Minnesota has its own version of the Loch Ness Monster, but its sightings and reports of this monster actually predate sightings of the Loch Ness Monster. So meet Peppy. Peppy, the monster of Lake Pepin. We're so creative with our lake monster names.
Peppy of Pepin.
Peppy of Pepin. So we're going to back way up in time. We're going way back in time. So legend has it the Dakota people who lived alongside this stretch of the river right next to Lake Pepin, they used thicker dugout canoes only for traveling or doing hunting or voyaging in Lake Pepin in this stretch of the Missouri River. When they were going in any other body of water, they used really thin, shallow birch canoes because they were quick and they would glide. But they found out that whenever they used their shallow birch canoes in Lake Pepin, that the body of the canoe would get pierced by creatures in the water.
Creatures, plural?
Or a creature, or a singular creature. Kind of like biscotti, biscotto, creature.
Peppy, papo.
Yeah, something like that. So this seems like a little bit more than a tale to scare children, which we know that a lot of legends where we talk about scary things were ways to keep the youth safe, like stay away from the water. There's a monster in there. But if they're going to take the effort to like make a very more difficult, definitely more effort put into making these dugout canoes with thicker bark just to traverse this part of the lake, there's got to be a reason more than just trying to scare kids away.
Mm-hmm.
They actually changed the boats they used because of what was in the water. It just leads me to believe that there was actually something there. So the Dakota people talked about, they not only used the thicker boats, but they actually talked about seeing a large serpentine-like monster in the lake. Now, the first known newspaper account of the monster that we call Peppy was in 1867, where river rafters from St. Louis reported seeing a huge, unknown creature in the water. Then, in 1871, so like 4 years later, there was another sighting that was featured in the Minnesota Historical Society's Book of Days Almanac, where two men reported seeing a monster in the lake, and they said it was between the size of a rhinoceros and an elephant, but moved through the water with great speed, alarming speed, and had a long serpentine body. And the sightings did not stop in 1871. They kept coming, with sightings continuing into modern times. Witnesses continue to describe a large, dark shape moving just below the surface, creating a ripple across the top of the surface, a long-necked creature breaking the water. Some claim to have seen Peppy's head rise several feet above the waves. But they all say the same thing. It moves in an eerie, snake-like motion. So here's some theories.
Spooky.
A lot of skeptics say it's a large sturgeon. They can be at least 6 feet in length. But the people that have sighted Peppy have said, no way, this is way longer than 6 feet. We're talking way longer than 6 feet.
Yeah. Like ancient sturgeon can get as long as like 20 plus feet.
But does sturgeon have a serpentine-like head? What does the head
They
of a
have
sturgeon look
fish-like
like?
head. It's a bottom sucker, so it has like a bottom sucker's head, so it's like a wide mouth.
Oh, kind of like almost hammerhead shark?
Sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. So the descriptions of its head were either snake-like or horse-like, which made me think seahorse type head.
Which led you to Loch Ness, yeah.
Yeah.
Kelpies.
I don't know.
Kelpies.
Seems
That's what it
to
was.
me, I mean, it could have been an ancient sturgeon. I feel like the sturgeons that we
sounds
see
like it was a little
nowadays
different.
are a little bit longer. And the heads, and why are they up? Stay down at the bottom where you belong, sturgeon. You're scaring us.
I don't think sturgeon, I don't think they usually emerge their heads out of the water like that.
No, and they don't have a serpent or a horse-like head at all.
Other skeptics say it's probably just the wake from boats going by. But don't you think that these people seeing this would know?
In the 1800s, though, it's not like they had...
super fast canoe paddlers.
Right. I forgot.
Yeah. So here's a cool thing about Peppy is he's kind of become a beloved mascot of Minnesota and Lake Pepin in general. A local businessman, he's a boat captain, has offered a $50,000 reward. It has been a long-standing reward. You can still collect it for any verifiable proof of Peppy's existence.
All right.
So you would
sisters.
need... Yes. Here, let me tell you what. This is our plan to make some money. Our plan is to go to Lake Peppy. And this is what we need. We need a good photograph and a piece of the creature's fin or skin. So, Haley, get your wetsuit on.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I think that's a little rude.
Listen, just a little. He's very long. We just need
I don't want to take his skin or fin.
just a portion. Don't have to take the whole thing.
I just feel like that's aggressive and rude to do to a live animal.
Okay, we can ask it permission.
Let's ask it permission. Let's make... Okay. We're moving there. We're going to make friends.
We're going to become
with Peppy.
Minnesotans.
We're going to say, Peppy, we would love $50,000. This is what it's going to take since we're friends, and we'll split it with you.
So so here's what we need. Good photograph.
She loved that.
And a piece. We will split it with Peppy. I did love it.
I wasn't planning to split it. I was hoping he'd give me one of his scales, like the rainbow fish or something.
Oh, that would be nice.
That's even better. I like that plan. Okay. Perfect.
Then
I'm just not going to slice him when he's
Can I
live.
tell you guys the rest of it?
Yeah.
Sorry, we got real
need
focused on that.
I know. Well, it is good to have a plan, and I'm glad we are actually planning this out instead of just saying, let's go.
Yeah.
Also, we might need to figure out what to do with our kids and stuff.
They're old enough. We
Maybe-
have a boat.
Maybe we're doing this in 7 years. Are
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Let's put our kids in the wetsuits.
Oh,
there
yeah.
we go.
Haley doesn't have to do it anymore. Oliver?
Zane
I
loves
forced?
the water. Zane is always like the first one in the water.
Okay, so to get the 50,000, we need a good photograph and a piece of the creature's fin or skin. Then researchers at the University of Minnesota Biology Department have to confirm it comes from an unknown species. Nobody has collected it yet, but it is longstanding. That means there's still a chance for us to get it.
We've got a chance.
We can do it. We just have to have the passion.
I'm not
I'm
sure
trying to
we-
decide if I have it.
I do have the passion of lake living.
I also have the passion of lake living. I think we're halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
Emily?
Yeah, I mean, my passion just stops short of collecting skin or fin.
It doesn't have to be your passion. It can be Oliver's.
Or Zane's.
Or Zane.
He's turning into a little hunter.
Listen, I feel like Zane's got the fire for it.
He's got a lot of fire.
I'm going for Zane.
What if we put the boys together and they collaborate together as cousins?
I like this plan. So here's another cool fact that might be a fact. It's a factoid.
Possible fact.
possible fact. So Lake
What do you call
Pepin,
those opinions?
it's like a little piece of history that is maybe not quite proven. Like locals claim it as fact, but other people are kind of like
Tidbit.
Not so sure. Tidbit. That's a good
great.
word for it, Haley.
It's
Okay,
the
so
scientific word.
and as budding cryptogeologists, so Lake Pepin is famous for something else entirely. It's known as the birthplace of water skiing. So this is what local lore claims as fact, according to them. The rest of us claim it as a tidbit. A young man named Ralph Samuelson spotted Peppy gliding across the surface one moonlit night in 1922, and he thought, if a lake monster can skim across the water, why can't I? A few months later, water skiing was invented by Ralph Samuelson. So, who knows? I think if we actually researched when did water skiing get invented, we'd get an entirely different story. But
let's go with this. And listeners, give us your thoughts on origins of water skiing at thespookydarlings@gmail.com.
Yeah, everybody's trying to steal Ralph Samuelson's ideas anyway, all the time.
I know.
Hey, he stole Peppy's idea, all right?
He's long dead, I would assume.
I don't
because
know.
it was 1922 that water skiing was invented, and he had to at least have been 18 at the time. But here's where we land with Peppy, the Minnesota lake monster. Lots of new technological advancements have happened lately, like sonar and underwater cameras. And Peppy has managed to elude capture. There is not a single shred of real proof that has been brought forth. But the waters of Lake Pepin are deep, and the Mississippi River runs north to south. So Peppy could be anywhere. I think Peppy would not find it hard to elude sonar and cameras. He'd be like, oh, see ya, sucker.
Wouldn't want to be ya.
Wouldn't want to be ya. But the Dakota people, they beached their birch canoes and used huge, heavy dugout canoes to travel on Lake Pepin. And
only on Lake Pepin.
Only on Lake Pepin. And there, as you know, Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes. The Dakota people didn't just live right there. They used their birch canoes in all of the other water places. I keep wanting to say
waterways?
Waterways, ponds,
lakes,
creeks.
cracks.
Probably not creeks.
Rivers.
Rivers, yes. Streams, yes.
Yes.
And the Historical Society recorded it as a real sighting. Like, you have to be serious to be recorded by the Historical Society. And I think I skipped this part. There was a captain of a paddle boat. Oh, I did. The captain of the Pearl of the Lake, a 125-passenger paddle wheeler that piles the lake daily, has had at least 15 accounts of sightings of Peppy the lake monster.
I trust him.
And that gives it some degree of credibility. You just can't explain that away. 15 accounts with 125 passengers. Like, people have seen something weird. Yeah. So, I don't know. Mysterious serpents in lakes and rivers of Minnesota go very far back. And the Mississippi River is long and deep. Plenty of places for people to hide. In any version of this story, I don't think I'm swimming in Lake Pepin. And I think if I go out on it, I'm going in a very sturdy boat that can't be easily pierced.
Captain of the Pearl.
Yeah,
something.
sure. Sounds good to me. Especially
he's seen it 15 times. He's still piloting that boat. Manning that boat.
Minimum of 15 sightings. Maybe more.
Probably more.
Now that haven't been logged yet. Yeah, that's the guy I'm going with. The Pearl.
The
What was it called? Let me find it again. Scrolling. Can't find it.
The Pearl on Lake Pepin.
Oh, Pearl of the Lake.
Pearl of the Lake.
Pearl of the Lake. Yeah. Wonder if it's still in business. Anyway, that is Peppy, the Minnesota lake monster.
I believe it.
I believe it too. 100%. How about you,
I'll still swim in
Emily?
that lake, though.
I won't.
I cannot wait. I can't wait to go meet him.
So
New bestie.
when we get our lake property in Minnesota, though, the land of 14,000 lakes,
Mm-hmm.
we're not getting it on Lake Pepin, and we're not getting it on whatever the hell haunted Lake Haley reported about. We're choosing one of the
That
other
one was in a national park.
13,998 lakes.
So we have a
Yeah.
lot to choose from.
Yeah, let's move to a town where the lifeguards are healthy.
Yeah, we don't want sickly lifeguards.
Sickly lifeguards
Yeah.
that describe swimming,
Twisting our bodies
twisting,
to the water.
and contorting.
Twisting. Oh my gosh, have you ever swam, Rona? Rona, have you
Bursting
swam?
out of a cage, free and unbound.
Rona, there is like a rhythm to it. There's like there's a technique.
I'm just like, do you think you're a fish leaping out of the water?
She does.
Oh, maybe she
Weird.
was a what do you call it when you dance in water? Synchronized.
Oh, a synchronized swimmer.
Maybe
No,
she was
she's sickly. She can't hold her breath that long.
My friend Brittany was a water polo player, and I keep forgetting that it was water polo and not synchronized swimming. And I keep telling, because she's like the stage manager for all the plays that I music direct. And so I tell all the kids in front of her that she was a synchronized swimmer, so she knows dance. And then she's like, honey, I played water polo. And I'm like, I know.
The sport where you nearly drowned each other trying to get a ball.
I just remembered.
Did I tell both of you that Aubrey, who's married to Trevor, thought that Jason all these years had been playing water polo with his friend Segundo?
Oh, yes.
And I was like, what?
Yes, that's so cute.
She's like, yeah. And I was just like, I don't know about you, but if your husband had a friend who came up from South America for a half the year every year to play in the water together, I'd give you a heads up that your husband's gay.
Oh my gosh. No, instead they just ride beasts together.
Yeah.
Well, when you say it like that.
Is that comedy?
Yeah, you did it.
You did it.
You achieved comedy.
Achieved comedy. You guys, this was a fun episode. Thank you, Minnesotans.
Who's taking us out?
Well, can we just talk a little bit about Minnesota?
Yeah.
I want to go there.
Great state.
I do want to go there.
So many lakes.
I have a client
so-
from Minnesota, and she totally has a little bit of a Minnesotan accent.
I had a college friend from Minnesota, and she would talk about how on really cold mornings, they take like a cup of water out and throw it, and how it like turns into ice in midair and then sort of freezes there for a second and then drops.
Cool.
Because I was like, it's so cold. And she was like, oh, girl, it's not cold.
She's like, this is t-shirt weather.
I saw somebody do that on TikTok recently. With boiling mug of water, he threw it into the icy air,
In
and it
Minnesota. Was
looked
it in
kind of
Minnesota?
like it turned into snow midair almost.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's cool.
You're cool.
Thank you.
wait. Though, was it in Minnesota?
I didn't check the state, and I didn't dwell on it. I just saw it and moved on.
You're just remembering now. I told several people that when I was on swim team in high school that my hair would get so cold when we went outside from like swimming to our car, which is true. My hair would freeze, but I told people it would freeze so hard that I could break it off. That part wasn't true. I exaggerated that.
I remember walking to school with wet hair once, and it's so cold that I could hear my hair clinking together like it was icicles clinking together.
Was that back when Dad would like be like, nowhere is too far
far.
to walk in a town like this, and then he'd make us walk, and then he'd drive by us and wave, and we'd be like crying, like icicle tears. And we'd be like, we're so cold. And he'd drive by us and be like, hey, just checking on you, as I suspected, in my nice warm car. You were just fine. Dad, we're keeping this in. Orangutan.
Mic drop. And that's for our father.
I just pointed at Haley like she was editing. I'm editing this. It might get cut depending on my mood.
We'll find out.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh. I just remember it being so bitterly cold, like that kind where it snows, but the snow is it's too cold to stick to itself.
Uh-huh.
So it just blows everywhere. It's super dry.
And it blows in your face.
And I remember getting begging Dad for a ride, and he's like, "You can walk." And then getting 1 block from the school, and he drove up to me and offered me a ride. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? No, I don't even want to ride anymore. I'm so mad at you."
Oh my
And I
gosh.
have never forgotten that, Father.
Nary shall she.
And that's Minnesota Cryptids.
We live in Oregon.
I'm just saying, Minnesotans, listen, we experience cold here and it's miserable. We know you experience colder.
And we acknowledge that and hold space for you.
We do. And we would love your stories about it, please.
Yeah, tell us
Write
everything.
us at the spookydarlings@gmail.com.
Yeah. Who's taking us out? I took us in. It can't be me.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's Haley.
Thank you for listening. Once again, we are the Spooky Darlings, and you can find us on our socials at the Spooky Darlings Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And if you want to tell us your spooky cryptid stories or any spooky stories at all, email us at thespookydarlings@gmail.com. And
you can also message us on any of the socials, on TikTok or on Instagram and Facebook. Maybe if Haley checks it, she's not making any promises.
I'm not reliable. I'm sorry. I have a full-time job.
But Instagram or TikTok will be
Our
checked.
sister Emily, who also has a full-time job, is manning those.
Yes.
Yes.
And she will get back to you.
Yes.
And
Maybe.
thank you.
Perhaps. Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you.
Goodbye. Do we do that?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
5 stars. 14,000 likes.
5 lake monsters at least.
5 nipples on the weird guy coming out of the water.